Okay, I'm going to be honest with you here. This review was planned to be released after the current one, but then I took a look at my schedule and realised I had 3 mainline Hasbro figure reviews back to back. So, to keep things fresh, my next video is not going to be about Topspin and Twin Twist, but a special guy who I feel gets a lot of undeserved hate. Well, sort of undeserved. Before Keith's Fantasy Club was cranking out fingers that can flip you the bird, deeply disappointing Blitzwings, and the most animation-accurate Menasor under the sun, they were pretty much bottom of the barrel when it came to third-party stuff. Their tapes were apparently terrible, and there wasn't much confidence when it came to their early figures. The Mugan series is one of, if not the first fully fledged figure project in their lineup, and you can tell they were still figuring a lot out. For starters, the tank mode is barely a tank mode. When people talk about barely folding up a robot to make a fake mode, this is usually what they're referring to. There's a lot wrong with this mode. For starters, f*** the turret. The whole design is a bad idea. It's a spindly little mess made of brittle plastic, and the ball joint is so loose that not only does it pop out all the time, but if you angle the tank downwards, the cannon can't even hold itself up. Second, nothing folds together. You get a few tabs on the arms to keep them in shape and a few on the legs to keep them bent and guided, but nothing holds the 2 legs together, and nothing pegs the arms into the feet. They kind of just guide in there, but even that's a real stretch. Third, the front of the tank mode completely fails. It's not as bad as Titan's Return 6-shot, but it's getting pretty close. Fourth, no weapon storage. You get 3 weapons, but none of them go anywhere. It's a careless oversight. A simple pin would have worked easily. And finally, and in my opinion the most damning, all the screws are visible on the top. Almost every toy I can think of hides their screws effectively, even if they're in inconvenient places. I never mention it in other reviews simply because it wasn't an issue that I thought any company would ever fail in. Even the worst Transformer I own doesn't have this problem. It means that if Repro Labels ever made a sticker set, and at this stage I think that's highly unlikely, it'll be impossible to get right. Oh, and he doesn't have any wheels to roll at all. Bummer. All that said though, in spite of his flaws, I'm oddly drawn to this design. Due to the simplicity of the transformation, I can forgive the lack of tab placement and screw covers. Even though I can never forgive the turret, I see the potential of a cool looking tank mode. Actually, I'm thinking of designing a replacement turret, but that's a long way off to be honest. For a size comparison, he's a little bit smaller than the average deluxe. This makes the original price seem really dumb, especially in its time. Now, even though I forgave the tank mode for a lot of its failures, I don't think I can do the same for Microscope mode. Despite having more tabs than the tank to keep things in place, for some reason it's actually worse. The arms don't really seem to be trying at all, and the legs are now way harder to keep in place because they got to deal with the pelvis getting in the way. The tray looks okay, but it's a worry to pull out. It feels too brittle, similarly to how the chromed matrix cavity on the MO1 Commander worked, and after this review you can be sure I'm not opening the damn thing ever again. As for this scope, it can just f*** off. The chances of any poses with this loose ball joint are impossible. That said, I always found the idea of a Microscope mode pretty dumb anyway, and I didn't buy the figure for this mode. Another reason why I'm never opening the cavity again is because I won't need to, since I'm never going back to this mode ever again. I bought the mode for the bot and the tank modes, and all in all I'm kind of okay with that. And at least the tank mode's better than the Titan's Return version. Speaking of which, this is my replacement for that. Hasbro unfortunately went the full G1 toy route with the blocky proportions and the banality of both alt modes. Nothing about the figure interests me, whereas I do at least get a spark from this. Now before I transform this guy, I will mention that a lot of people out of the box will not be able to transform it at all. You see, they miscalculated how the neck panel would fit into the chest, so a little bit of modification is required. I'll show the shortened version of my instructional video right here, but I do recommend you watch the full thing via the link in the end card or in the description below. Okay, so the first thing we are going to do is unscrew the screws at the back here and see what we're dealing with. It looks like these screws kind of stop there and they don't really do anything after that. That may be a blessing or a curse later down the line. Okay, that's that. Here we go. We're going to see if we can get these dislodged. Ah! You can in fact dismantle the chest without breaking anything. Let's try sanding down these sides. Careful not to damage the head. And when it goes in properly. That's good. That's better. Ball joint in. Ball joint in. We are now ready to start screwing them back in. Yes, you are screwed now. And now, can he transform properly? It was okay when everything was like that. Woo! Whoop! head off. And head on! And I didn't break any pegs like other YouTubers believed you had to. The transformation on this guy is dead simple. I'm not really sure how much it shares in common with the original source material, but this guy's a breeze if you remove the backpack and fix the neck platform. It's not really the fun kind of easy, nor is it the boring kind. It just does what it needs to do, and there's not much to say. The bot mode is pretty good, but it's not without its problems. Honestly, as is usually the case, in looks alone KFC pretty much nailed it. I guarantee you that most non-Transformer fans won't be able to tell that this thing can transform at all. There's a few telltale signs though, such as the weirdly sized forearms and the obvious double hinges on the back that are way longer than any normal figure would use, but most people won't notice that. In the looks department, this figure has no problem. Hell, he's even got light piping, although his eyes can look a little dead without it. No, the issues come primarily from the tolerances. Due to the materials used, anything with black plastic is slowly going to grind away and become loose at the ball joints. Already the hips are getting bad, and the shoulders aren't that great either. The feet worry me, because if they fail, the figure can never stand again. But for now it's manageable, and in the future I think some more disassembly and an extra dosage of floor polish is in order. Now unlike the tank mode, you can actually store some of the weapons on his body. Well, sort of. The two pistols he comes with, which long-time subscribers will know really tickles my fancy from a design standpoint, can be stored in holsters. These should have still worked in tank mode, but oh well, we're beyond that at this point. Now the rifle, which is connected to his IDW counterpart, as is the bot design and especially the head, can be stored on the backpack. But given the looseness of the ball joint and the fact that it bends the plastic, I'm not sure this was originally intended to be official, so it's probably best just to have him hold it or put it on the turret I eventually design. Articulation's all you could want from a deluxe. Ball jointed head, ball jointed and universal shoulders, bicep swivel, double jointed elbow, wrist ball joint, waist swivel, ball jointed hips, thigh swivel, double jointed knee that is hard to get working, and ball jointed ankles. If you want to pose on this bot, you can pretty much get it if you work hard enough. And as for a size comparison, he's a little bit taller than most deluxes, so he'll fit right in with the Titans Return figures. So is this guy worth it? Yeah, kinda. If you're willing to put in the extra fix for the head transformation, then I say yeah, go ahead, especially at the $15 he's going for on the sale at the moment. But at full price, no chance in hell. The two kinds of people who will get the most out of this toy are people like me who are fine with slight modifications and fiddle around with toys quite a bit, and people who just want to display it and that's it. Going through the mod only to forget about the toy for an eternity isn't worth it, but displaying him for an eternity or messing with him periodically will give you your money's worth. Also, he's definitely more interesting than the Titans Return version, and less kibbly than the Reveal the Shields one, so all in all, he is fairly solid. But as you know, everyone still hates him, so in the end, what do I know? Hey guys, thanks for watching this video. I just want to let you know that Paper Plane's collab with us for Transformers The Last Night is finally out. Yes, after recording it a month ago, he took this long to edit it. Who knew? I will warn you that if you're going to go watch it, it does have a little bit of profanity, which I keep clean off my channel, so I'm just going to give you a heads up on that. I'll leave a link right now and in the description below. Enjoy that and stick around for more videos if you want to. Have a good day, or night as I'm recording this at 10 o'clock.